I'm glad you brought up Girlfriends.
Me too.
How many Girlfriends fans do we have? Tracee, you have to tell them the story that you told me about how when you were, I think it was when you were maybe, I don't even want to say auditioning for the show because this character was actually designed for you.
Which one? Blackish?
Blackish.
Oh,
so when you
I did audition.
Yes, you did audition, but when you were going through that process, no one knew about the show yet.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And you were talking about the show you're going to be on, and people were like, "Oh, so your first big TV show?"
It's fantastic. It was so great. It was very humbling.
For Girlfriend fans, your blood's about to boil.
Okay,
so just get ready.
I had to audition, and people were like, "You auditioned?" I was like, "Yes." First of all, it's a part of the job. I understand that, but you know, there were a lot of people who were unaware of my work, which is fine. I mean, I thought Girlfriends was gonna finish on like the pearly gates of Hollywood. We're gonna open and they were gonna be like, here! And they were like, and I was like, hello?
How many episodes?
173, 8 years. And you know, the show was good. Okay, so I went in to do my first looping session to put my voice in the places where the sound dropped out or whatever that was for Blackish. And I went in and the guy who does the sound, he's like, I've been doing sound forever. I'll do sound for this one and that one. And I am sound for television. So I go in and he's like, I mean, you are just funny. And I was like, thanks. He's like, and so like, where have you been? Like, what have you done? And I was like, oh, I was on a show called Girlfriends. I mean, but it wasn't like on network television. And I was like, no, it was. He was like, but it wasn't prime time. I was like, no, it was. And he was like, but it wasn't a comedy. And I was like, no, it was. He's like, but I mean, you weren't like the lead. I was like, no, it was.
Can you believe that?
Oh no, it just went on and on. And then he was like, well, I never saw it. I was like, obviously. Which is fine. There's different pockets in Hollywood, clearly. You know, there was no internet. Like, there was no social media. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about, but there was no social media during Blackish, so there was no, during Girlfriends. So there was no ability to sort of harness your own audience or any of those kinds of things. There was no ability to kind of track that, to sort of gather and create the community around something.
There was no Black Twitter then.
There was no Black Twitter. There was no Black Twitter.
It would have been the biggest hit on Black Twitter.
I would have loved to have live tweeted an episode of Girlfriends. That would have been amazing. Woo!